I officially call the meeting of the Midtown Redevelopment Board for Tuesday, June the 10th, 2014 to order. We'll have our roll call, followed by our invocation by Apostle Barhu, and our Pledge of Allegiance by our veteran, Minister Danny Fuqua.
Present.
Mr. Zulli? Mr. Fuqua?
Mr. Schwartz.
Mr. Fuqua?
Present.
Ms. Ford?
Present.
Ms. Hurd? Here. Mr. Ross? Dr. Jameson? Here. Mr. Miller?
Yes, here.
Mr. Schwartz?
Present.
Chairman Tory?
Present.
Pretty good.
All right.
Let us stand. Let's bow our heads. Wonderful God, we come to say thank you. We thank you for this day and this hour. We thank you for the Midtown Board. We thank you for our city and all our citizens. We ask that you'll bless the business that is at hand. We pray for wisdom and knowledge and understanding. We ask that you'll cover us, send your angels to watch over us. Bless all that we do, that it'll be pleasing in thy sight. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen. Amen. I pledge to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, we've had a chance to read over the minutes, and I will entertain a motion at this time.
I move that the minutes be accepted.
Use your mic, please, sir.
I move that we move that the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded that the minutes be accepted as submitted. Are there any corrections by anyone in the minutes? Hearing no corrections, we'll have the minutes approved as read. We'll go to our staff report.
Okay.
Has everyone looked over the ComStat report?
Yes.
And we don't have Captain Blanchett here tonight, but are there any questions on the ComStat report?
It's amazing. They haven't been here for the past couple of meetings. Have they stopped participating?
No. One of the things that we have done is when we have a particular question about something in the ComStat, we'll ask them to come in to explain what's going on with that. Because just to be blunt about it, that puts them on even more overtime.
There are some questions I'd like to find out about, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If we could get them to our next meeting.
Sure.
I want to talk about juvenile issues between the ages of 13 and 17 or 18. I've noticed that there's very little for these kids to do in our neighborhood. And I'm wondering if we were more proactive on the front end, we wouldn't have to spend so much money on the back end. And since Midtown is where a lot of they create their havoc, I think it's a great place to ask some questions.
All right. So you're talking about specifically the juvenile programs for the juveniles? Yes. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
That, one of the things that I wanted to say about that is that, yes, some of it the police can deal with, but most of that comes through the Department of Recreation, doesn't it? For programs for the city?
No,
leisure services.
We have a lot of policemen on the streets here in the city of Daytona Beach, and our budget, the biggest part of our budget is the police department.
Right.
And of course, I hear the chief talk about we got games and that type of thing, but I notice we have no recreational programs or no activities for that age group. And I'm asking, what do we expect these kids to do? If we don't give them a team to be on, they're going to be a part of a game.
You're absolutely correct. I agree with you 150%. What we can do is ask if Captain Blanchett can come in. I personally would like to find out what we can do to help the leisure department, or at least let them know we need some programs.
I have a recommendation that could come from this board. I'd like to make a motion that we ask them to look at creating a parks and recreational board. Most municipalities throughout the county, throughout the state, throughout the United States have a parks and recreational board. We're the only city of our size that do not have it. So that means that the leisure service director and the city manager are making decisions of what type of sports our kids do. And they like golf, and they like tennis, and they like stuff that our kids don't do. And we don't have Little League baseball. There's a lot of fathers who've never seen a kid play t-ball or baseball or soccer in the city like Daytona Beach. Port Orange just sent 7 kids to major colleges playing baseball. A kid out of D-Land just got picked in one of the top rounds for the league, major league. In the city of Daytona Beach, we never had a kid program in the Little League program, baseball league. It turned 75 years old on the 6th of June. But Daytona Beach do not have any type of program, no T-ball. And I think that's a tragedy.
Okay.
Chairman.
Yeah, just a second, Mr. Bahu.
Yeah, I had
And
a
then I'll
comment
come
in
to you.
regards to the ComStat. One of the questions that I would like to know more about is that I've noticed quite a few of the crimes or the areas have increased, and then comparing to the previous years, are there new techniques or different things that the police department is implementing, or different types of plans they have in place to bring these down? For example, sexual battery has risen 125%, looking at it. Domestic violence cases has gone up 32%. Of course, we have firearms went down 19%. But for those areas that are going up, and I think the police department may be able to speak more knowledgeable about this, that would be one of the questions I would have for him or them, is that are there new programs or new operations being put in place to help maneuver that or make that a little better, a little safer for our citizens? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to ask, was that a motion or discussion, Mr. Miller?
I made a motion.
Okay. Point of order. Yep, it's a motion. So does it have a second?
Second. I second the motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we recommend to the city that we need a Parks and Recreation Board. Is there any discussion on the matter? Are you ready for the question?
Well,
Question.
Go ahead with discussion.
discussion. Is there, and maybe staff can help us, a board that's already appointed, or are there folks that's already on a board from the leisure department, or do they have any? Maybe someone can help clarify. Do you know?
Okay.
Don't believe there's anything that is there at this time. And my understanding is, and this request came from Mr. Miller to the City Commission, and they've heard this already. So they have that formal request in front of them from Mr. Miller as well. So I know that they're
no
just
board
receiving
exists.
it. The city manager is back today, and I know he's got that information, so I'm expecting.
I agree.
The answer is no, there's not a board.
Okay,
we have
thank
26 boards around in the city of Daytona Beach, and all of these boards are.
Mr.
I'm
Miller,
sorry.
you're out of order.
I'm sorry, sir.
Ms. Hurd?
I was about to just piggyback a little bit on that. It was discussed in commissioner meeting, and I do remember Commissioner Gillian, if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned the fact about the golf, the golf club out there to be a part of this group. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. And we really need to look at our young people, our teenagers especially, during the summer.
Okay. Ms. Ford, I'll come to you just after we hear from Mr. Bryant.
No, mine has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Well, mine is separate from the vote that you have on the table.
Okay.
Question?
Good evening. Paula Reed, 861 Magnolia Avenue. There's a public budget meeting tomorrow afternoon, and we slated a discussion regarding Mr. Miller's motion to be held tomorrow as well. So if you'd like to come and hear what we discussed in regards to what he shared, we'll be discussing that tomorrow, the commission, immediately after the budget. The budget meeting is at 4, and so immediately after the budget meeting, we'll go into that discussion.
But the unfortunate thing at the budget meeting, there's no public participation. That's the
Correct.
only problem I find with it.
Well, that's how the public meetings are.
Okay.
But you'll be able to hear and then bring some discussion to commission based on that meeting.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. The motion was that we recommend to the City Commission that we need a Parks and Recreation Board, and it's been properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign aye.
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 The nays, like sign. At the opinion of the chair, it passed. And Ms. Ford, your comment.
I was just going to piggyback on Pastor Bahu about the CompStat report, because I noticed that a lot of the crimes that we had in one concentrated area has moved. It has shifted. So my question would be, have they recognized that, and what are we doing about that? Because it's moved from one area to another area within Midtown.
Okay, that's a good point. Mr. Bryant?
Okay. First of all, I just been talking about it for the last few months, but the next CompStat meeting will be Thursday, June the 12th at 8:30 a.m. That's where you get a lot of information regarding what the activities that the police department is doing.
8:30.
Also, if you notice, not only in Midtown, around the city, the police department has been doing a lot of major operations. A couple of weeks ago, Chief did information and I forget what you call it. Well, anyway, he talked to the news media, and I had an opportunity to go to that, and they had some large, dangerous weapons. I've been in the military, and some of these weapons that they captured, you believe they used in the military. And these were really dangerous criminals on the street. I think it was 29 that they took off the streets and at one time. They're doing some operation with other police and FBI, ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms people in this community. And, a lot of, an example, they bust a crack house near my house Thursday morning. As far as them moving from one area to another one, they bust them Thursday morning at 4 o'clock. Saturday morning, they were back in operation. So they're moving from one area to another one. The police department has their hands are tied, they're full, and they're working hard to address crime in this area. And I have to give kudos to the chief and his officers that are out there. Sometimes we just have to be patient. I know I was on him about taking care of that crack house, and it took them a while to do it, but they took care of it. So if you got anything that you need to be reported, please contact the chief. Contact me. I don't have a problem delivering the message to the chief or to the captain or whatever. But a lot of times, being an ex-police officer, a lot of times you can't disclose the activities that they're doing. And I understand that and appreciate that because they're working hard trying to capture criminals. But if you go to the CompStat meeting, a lot of questions that you might ask, they might be able to answer them, and especially as it comes to the CompStat reports.
Okay. And in regard to that, one of my concerns has been that in the Halifax area, the amount of our young people who come in contact with with policemen and law enforcement end up with crimes at an alarming 85%, whereas in a place like Miami, it's only 2%. And a lot of times the police do have the discretion to give a citation rather than arrest. And that's something that I'd like to talk with Captain Blanchard about, and maybe I'll more than likely contact him individually to talk about that. But that's something that is also a major concern because it's going to increase unemployment. Because once a person has a record, them getting a job any place other than a McDonald's or at one of the car washes is about it. And that is a major issue right now that we need to address. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if these kids have done something major that they don't need to be arrested. But we do have the discretion to give them citations, which means that when they get that citation, sure, there's certain things that they're going to have to do, but that stops them from getting a record and stops them from not being able to progress further in life. And that is a huge thing that we really need to look at on a citywide level, not just in the Midtown area, but in the entire city.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I think one of our major problems, I was a criminology major at Florida State many years ago, but if you look at the population of Daytona Beach compared to the number of law enforcement personnel that we have here, you know, we have a police department staffed as if it's special events every day here. And when they don't have anything to do, they go out there and they find things to do to kind of keep the stats up so that they can justify their jobs. And I think that's really one of our major, major problems. We got so many of them, and we're so top-heavy here in the city of Daytona Beach. It really need to be looked at. But I know this is not the board to address that. But when you got that many folks out there with nothing to do, they go on and find something to do. And most of the time, they find juveniles.
Yep.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
If I may make a comment. Again, this goes back to the comment about not having the young people not having an activity or something socially positive to do. And I think that's in all the zones, Midtown as well as some of the other zones, because of the budget and the finances or grants or for whatever reason. And I think if we're going to help change and direct in a more positive way, we have to start looking at possible solutions rather than looking at the problem. The problem doesn't go away unless we try to find solutions. And we have to have investors, or whether it's be, individuals or corporations or whatever, that's willing to invest in our young people. Personally, as a pastor, I've buried too many young people myself. Mm-hmm. And so to see parents burying their child rather than the other way, it's really a sad, sad case. So if we can find positive things for them to do and channel that energy into a positive way, I think overall will help in many ways deter crime, create some positive influence, highlight the positive things that we're doing. So I applaud Mr. Miller for going before the commission and at least bringing that up. So thank you.
That's okay. And I thank you all. We'll move on to, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Dr. Jameson.
One thing.
Use your mic, please.
What I'm noting right now is this discussion of what kids are supposed to do in the summertime is coming in June, which is now too late to be concerned about the kids doing in June. But what I'm unfamiliar with, I'm an active participant. In two programs at the Dickerson Center. And it used to be a youth program at the Dickerson Center. Now the Y is at the Dickerson Center, and there is no youth program there. So what I would want to hear is from leisure services, what exactly are they doing and in preparation for next year, I guess. And particularly as the budget's time right now, this is the time to put in the budget for next year, which we better prepare. But I think what I need to know is what happened to that youth program at the Dickerson Center last year. Where is it now? What are those kids doing? Or simply we just gave it to the Y and there is no program for the
Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club. And they're doing nothing. I don't understand why it was changed anyway, but what are they doing? What programs are they do they have in place? But I want to hear from leisure services. What are they doing for the Midtown area?
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, and I hope I'm not out of place with what I'm about to, my comment that I'm about to make. And I noticed in the city of Daytona Beach, we have a lot of the rear light cameras. I don't see them over on the beach side. I don't see them on the other side of Daytona Beach. I see them mostly in Midtown. That revenue, is it coming back into the Midtown? If it is, or if it's not coming back into the Midtown, can that revenue come back into Midtown and be earmarked for such programs for our youth?
That's a wonderful question. And it has been noted that the majority of the cameras are in Midtown and right around Midtown. That's something that if we come to the budget meeting, we can find out where that money is going. And if not, then we may need to ask some questions like that. Madam Commissioner. Yes, come on now.
Give another 5 of them.
I'm going, do I need to say who I am again?
Yes.
No.
Paula Reed, 861 Magnolia Avenue. A lot of what you all are discussing this evening was actually discussed at commission meeting. There are, I believe, 15 or 18 cameras, and there are only 3 in Midtown. They just happen to go north and south and east and west. The 3 in Midtown are at George Ingram and Nova Road, and it doesn't go east. It goes north and south, and it doesn't go west. Then there's the one at International and Nova, and then there's the one at Bellevue and Nova. Those are the only 3 in Midtown. You can get the list. I had the list at commission meeting of the cameras that are in the Midtown area. And in regards to summer camps, there are 2 summer camps. One will be at Midtown, and the other will be at Ortona, that the city is sponsoring this year. I asked that question at commission meeting as well.
Midtown
Center. Yes.
As opposed to the Dickerson
Correct.
Center.
That's still Midtown. So the city is sponsoring 2.
Kid can't walk there like they used to do.
I understand what you're saying, but we are offering something. That's what I wanted you to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said Midtown and where?
And Ortona on the beach side.
And I thank you for that input.
I have a question.
For me?
You say the lights are not going west?
Yes, when you're at, for example, the International, it doesn't go west because it couldn't put it in Krispy Kreme's parking lot. So they go north and south, and it goes east. But they couldn't put it at Krispy Kreme, so it doesn't go west towards Clyde Morris.
I can.
Yes, ma'am. And on George Ingram, it doesn't go west. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's write notes on that.
All right, moving to our code enforcement report. Does anyone have any questions that we did not ask last month?
You know what, Bellevue is not Midtown.
No, it's not Midtown area. We understand, but we did say surrounding.
I have a question. I have a comment there. And Commissioner Reed, I have brought that up many, many times about Bellevue not being in the Midtown area. I probably would say something more about it this afternoon in our comments. But I have a problem with the area of Midtown. I really do.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's a reason they mapped it out the way that they did.
Well,
So we do pick it up on MLK, don't we? Doesn't it go that far down? Yeah. Bellevue to Shady Place. But it's just not that corner of Nova and Bellevue.
in
Yeah.
Soul City.
Yep, that.
What?
Okay, no.
I won't say anything.
This isn't city commission meeting.
They give you
Okay.
2 minutes there.
Any new comments about code enforcement that we didn't ask over the last 3 or 4 months? Yes, ma'am, Dr.
Okay.
Jameson.
I want to make sure a definition of terms. The trespass arrest site, that's primarily mean if you trespass, it's marked no trespassing, right?
That
And
actually
it's-
would mean that a person has been issued a trespass warrant and they went back on that property.
Say that again?
A person had been issued a trespass warrant saying that they could not trespass that particular property, and they went back on it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I can address that. I did talk with Mr. Lopez, our code officer, because I knew this question was coming up. And these are properties that the owners have contacted the police department, and they have put them on the trespass area site program, which meaning if an officer goes by and they see someone on this property, they don't have to contact the owner. They can arrest them by the mere fact that they are trespassing. That's what these that are listed on here. They're on the trespass arrest site program.
Okay.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Okay.
Any follow-up question, Dr. Jameson?
Okay, and the second question, these overgrown lots, there are a lot of them, and I know of a few more. At what point will the city simply cut the overgrown and build the other people? How long does that take?
We have a code officer, then that's her specific job is to ride around and look at lots. And the city has contracted with a private contractor that she take pictures and send to them and have them to go and cut that lot. She does this every day. She was out today doing it.
Can you give me her name later?
Yes.
And one other thing, trees that grow over the street, is that part of, will the city also take care of that too? Like a tree is on property, but it's grown so much that it's the limbs are hanging over in the street.
That would be Public Works, and in some cases, FPL. If it's hanging over like an electrical line,
Yeah.
LPL would take care of it, but in other instances, it would be Public Works.
Can I give you an address with it later on?
Yes, ma'am.
One like that, I'm afraid now. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Hurd?
Comment, trespass arrest the site program, but that's a program itself. But I just, as far as trespassing, signs posted on your property, I can witness to it that it is true. And if you have signs posted and someone see someone there or the police is out there, so they will be arrested also. I'm saying that because I'm very proud to say that I helped put one in jail for 3 years. No trespassing. That's what the sign indicates. And as far as overgrown lot, if we going back to Midtown areas again, and I still say Bellevue Avenue is a thoroughfare for traffic over 25,000 or 20,000 cars or so per day. And that lot between Vernon Street and Now Street should be cleaned every 2 weeks as such because of the traffic there, but it's not. And it's sad that the area is the way it is because we have to wait until it happens 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line before areas of people are contacted or responding.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. And this is the last comment we're taking on code enforcement.
Okay, and it is about code enforcement. I noticed that International and Nova, the Toyota dealership, they're parking old raggedy cars out there in that parking lot, and it looks like garbage in the heart of our city. I would really love for code to even deal with that. And I know Toyota is coming into our area, and I don't know whether or not they're parking the cars there or who parking the cars, but somebody really need to do something about it. It's really, really make the community look worse than what it really is. And the second comment and the final, there's a homeless guy that sleep behind even the building that I'm in. In fact, he got a sofa and he sleep there in the rain, snow, sleet, hail, and now there's a lot of cats running around the place where he got dogs and cats, and it really, really looks bad over there. And somebody
Have you
need to take a look at
contacted
it.
Mr. Lopez?
No, I haven't. I figured I would be
Contact
here.
Mr. Lopez,
Okay.
and he will see to it that someone comes out to deal with it.
I think the guy needs some help. I don't want him to go and lock the man up, I'm saying, but
Well, that's probably going to be the first thing that happens.
no, I can't call Lou Pastor.
Okay? Because there's only so much that a law enforcement officer can do in a regard like that. Now, once he gets to the court can do other things. But the law enforcement officer can only do so much.
Okay.
Am I right about that, sir?
Maybe you can contact.
Well, I can only tell you that you're right. It's a situational, and the officers have to figure out if someone needs to be Baker acted or simply move along. And yeah, I mean, we're trying not to, just arrest anybody just because they're somewhere. We're trying to just make sure that they understand the situation. They'll handle it the way that they always do, very professionally and respect people's rights.
Okay. Thank you. Now, we'll go to our one item tonight, the final site plan approval for the International Speedway Urgent Care, DEV 2014-057.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is agenda item number 7, site plan DEV 2014-057, ISB Urgent Care Facility. The applicant is Shelby G. Weeks, PE, on behalf of Retail Realty Associates. The project is International Speedway Urgent Care Facility. This is a new construction. The location is 1014 West International Speedway Boulevard. Board action required is requested is to review the proposed site plan as required by Article 4, Section 8.2C of the Land Development Code. The board instructions is review the application pursuant to the appearance standards for the redevelopment area as required by Article 3, Section 5.1 of the Land Development Code. As you recall, they came before us last month for a concept plan review. The board, which has final site plan approval, is Midtown Redevelopment Board. Project description: International Speedway Urgent Care Facility is a proposed 5,256 square foot professional service medical clinic facility. The proposed facility is located on one of the outparcels of the Midtown Plaza PCD. The Midtown Plaza PCD is anchored by the Burlington retail store and was the former Daytona Mall. Midtown Plaza is located at the northwest corner of the intersection of North Nova Road and West International Speedway Boulevard in the Midtown redevelopment area. The applicant is proposing to develop the outparcel of the Midtown Plaza PCD with the commercial structure. Site plan review. Article 4, Section 8.3 of the LDC. The reviewing body in reviewing the site plan shall consider whether the proposal is consistent with all applicable policies of the comprehensive plan and whether any conflict in policy will be created. Land use and compatibility. The site is designated retail on the city's future land use map. Retail use designation permits commercial development with floor area ratios up to 3. The net gross floor area of the proposed building is 5,256 square feet, and the project has a FRA of 0.19. The site is currently vacant. The site was previously developed with an automotive service use, and the proposed professional service use is compatible with the adjacent office and retail uses along West ISB. Zoning. The current zoning is PCD, Planned Commercial Development. The purpose of this district is to serve as an alternate to strip commercial development and conventional industrial districts designed and approved in accordance with a comprehensive development plan. Note, this is a permitted use of professional service within this PCD. The minimum district area is small and may be appropriate for infill projects along major roadways. However, it should not be applied in a manner that promotes the problems associated with the strip development. This project meets all the required minimum setbacks and lot depth. Site arrangement. The site plan includes a proposed commercial structure located on a 0.65 acre site. The building is located in the front of the property with parking to the side and rear of the building. Parking and traffic flow. The project is required to have to provide 19 parking spaces with the subject out parcel, and 21 are proposed. The ingress and egress has been reviewed and approved by the city's traffic manager. The site plan provides for safe access for emergency vehicles and has been reviewed by the fire department. Site landscaping. In your package were included a landscape plan that detailed the proposed landscape improvements. The proposed site plan will increase the amount of landscape area along a major thoroughfare. The LDC requires a 40-foot scenic landscape setback on West ISB International Speedway Boulevard. The Midtown PCD agreement allows for the required plant material to be placed in the right-of-way to meet the scenic setback requirements. The scenic thoroughfare landscaping was installed at the time of the development of Burlington Store. The applicant will replace any dead or damaged plants during the development of the urgent care facility. Signage. The applicant is proposing wall signs on the south and east elevations and a monument sign in the front yard. The proposed signs are permitted in the PCD agreement. The final site designs will have to meet redevelopment design standards for signs. Design guidelines and requirements for redevelopment districts. The following is a summary and a staff response for the standards of Article 12, Section 2.1 of the Land Development Code. Project architect. The applicant is proposing to construct a new commercial building that includes design features on the facades facing public right-of-way that promote a sense of permanence. Building scale. The building is one story, which is similar to other buildings in the Midtown Plaza PCD. Building materials. The proposed building materials are of high quality, including the stucco as facade treatment. The building materials promote a sense of permanence. The paint colors will comply with the approved colors for the redevelopment area. Staff recommendation. Staff recommends that the Midtown Redevelopment Board approve the site plan for the project known as ISB Urgent Care located at 1014 West International Speedway Boulevard, subject to any outstanding staff comments. The applicant is represented here tonight and will be able to address any questions that you may have.
Mr. Weeks. And anyone that would like to speak to this particular item, please be sure to fill out one of these green sheets so we can have a record of it. Mr. Weeks.
Good evening, Selby Weeks with Klima Weeks Civil Engineering. We're at 385 Douglas Avenue in Altamont Springs, Suite 2100. And I'm available to answer any questions you have. We've reviewed the staff report and agree with the recommendation.
All right. We'll start with you, Mr. Schwartz.
I went and drove by the site, and obviously it's just a vacant site right now.
Right.
I mean, looking through it all, I think it looks very well, and I think it'll promote that area. I mean, I like the building design. I mean, I think it's really, it'll improve that area. I mean, I really like the design of it.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that I saw on the site plan, and it's just me thinking like, it's an urgent care and older people in a wheelchair, you have to cross the parking lot if you're in your car. That's the only thing I saw.
Yeah, and
That was the only thing.
Well, I mean, that was a discussion we had with staff early on. We would like to have had the building actually further west, but because of the setbacks, it pushes it back that direction. You've got the major boulevard coming in off of ISB.
Yeah.
So, we were just limited on space there to be able to have double,
Yeah.
loaded
I mean,
parking.
you have it all marked and you have it done all the way it's supposed to be done. That's the only comment I had.
Okay.
And then there's just a discrepancy between C100 and
The landscape,
The land-
that sidewalk.
Actually, I think it's a site plan. Site plan from the architect. They're proposing 2 handicap spaces where the site plan only shows 1.
That's why we should never let an architect have have a site plan. No,
Oh, coordination.
Yeah, no, you're right. They've got the latest. They've got the latest one now. I mean, it won't be.
Understand.
Obviously, it'll be built off of our plan and not theirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a comment, Mr. Berger?
Only to let you know, it's noted, and we'll handle that through the final site plan process.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bahu, did you have a?
Now, I had a comment on you. Will there be a separate entrance for emergency vehicles coming in there? And again, the reason I'm asking that is because of pedestrian safety. Or would they come through the same ingress and egress?
Yeah, they'll come through the same ingress and egress. So I mean, they'll come in off of International Speedway Boulevard there at the Boulevard Road.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, urgent care.
Oh,
does it.
urgent care. So no, okay.
Okay, but I thought you might even be talking about like a fire truck fighting a fire there or something like that. But I mean,
That too,
that's the
but-
primary access to the site.
Right, okay.
Okay. Mr. Fuqua?
I think it's going to be a great project for the Midtown, and the location, central location for Midtown, and the the construction of it when it's finished, it's just going to make it even polished.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ross, any comment?
No, I just want to apologize to the board for being late. Had a few things at the restaurant I had to take care of, so my apologies.
All right.
I think you're going to be a welcome neighbor. You're going to improve that whole area there. I think what we're doing with the dealership and what we're doing across the street with the urgent care, I think you're going to make that area look wonderful. And thank you for being one of our neighbors.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Jameson?
I'm pleased with the project, and thank you for serving that.
Ms. Ford?
No, I agree with everyone else. I like the project, and actually, I was going to ask, is that on the other side where it used to be a tire and automotive shop?
Right.
That's right.
That was answered in the site plan, so, right?
Yes.
Ms. Hurd?
Third, please.
All right. Okay, and I do want to thank you all for doing this. One of the things we need to do now is act on the site plan. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve or disapprove the site plan.
Mr. Chair, did you ask for public comment yet?
Well, I asked them to fill out a green sheet.
Okay.
So I will ask again, because someone has come in since then, is there any public comment on the ISB urgent care facility? None. Okay. I will entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman,
Please use your microphone.
I make a motion that we approve, I forgot the number. We approve DEV 2014-057, the final site plan for the International Speedway Urgent Care.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the site plan for development 2014-057 ISB Urgent Care Facility. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. It passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. And now we come down to the redevelopment project updates. And as Mr. Bryant is coming, one of the things that I would like to ask about, because we did have a lengthy discussion on it last month, is our Juneteenth festival. What what's going on with the funding for that?
We have a revised letter that received today, so we're going to look at that particular request for the funding now. We needed to have the eligible types of services in there.
Right,
and,
right.
And now that we have that, we'll consider that request.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bryant?
Okay. My only two updates is regarding Juneteenth, which is the banquet that will be held on June 19th at the 500 Club at International Speedway. It starts at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $25 each. And also the festival, which will be on Saturday, June 21st at Cypress Park. The event starts at 11 o'clock. It goes from 11 to 7 p.m. It's free admission. We have a lot of entertainment lined up. We're going to have a lot of vendors out there selling both merchandise and food. And we look to have a lot of people, as we have in the past, out for Juneteenth. So we're asking the board members to make yourself available for that day, at least come out and participate as long as you can. We will appreciate it. It's one of the major events that we have in Midtown each year, the banquet and the festival. This year, if you want to go to the banquet, please get your tickets, because we only have 350 tickets this year since we're going to the Speedway. So they're going fast. So if you would like to participate, we'd like to go ahead and get your tickets.
A point of clarification. You know, I was at the commission meeting when they asked the city to look at funding, and I think the assistant city manager talked about pulling the money out of the Midtown redevelopment account. Could somebody please explain to me how much money in that account? Is there money in that account? Where does this money come from? Because all I hear from my staff is that we're in the red.
There is no operating money.
I understand that there's no operating money, but what about the funding that they were supposed to pull from the Midtown account?
I think that statement was one that still didn't have the information at the time to decide that was it. It was not a statement about that's where it said it could come from, the CRA account. It was not. It will come from.
It will come from that account?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and I think it was just a statement that was made.
All right.
It was not a promise. It's just it's something that they're looking at and considering. You know how we're going to do that. Again, the manager just got back today, and he's evaluating it.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thanks.
Okay. Yep. And one of the things that I think is major as our commissioner comes forward is that for years, Midtown has partnered with that particular event, the Juneteenth Festival. And the history of Juneteenth alone is major. And I don't want to get into all that right now, but the history of Midtown itself has a lot to do with the reason that Juneteenth is so big in this area. Because many of us don't understand the history of Daytona Beach in regard to a major section of Midtown. But I will at this time, I don't want to get into the history. Y'all know I love history, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to let our commissioner come.
We only have 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Start the clock, Chairman.
We're going to not let you respond again this week.
I just wanted to bring some things to the board's attention. First of all, let me just say thank you to each and every one of you for volunteering your services to participate on this board on behalf of Midtown and our city commission. It takes an individual who cares to give up their time. Time is very precious. And I appreciate all that you're doing and advising me in what direction we should go for Midtown. Now, I have 2 other boards that I have a need for, and if you know of individuals who perhaps would be interested in this, the Historic Preservation Board, anybody interested in who just said they love history? that loves history and preserving the history of our town. Zone 6 needs a representative for that board. And also, we had an untimely death with Mr. Leonard Tynes, and I need someone for our beautification board. And that's a board that meets once a month, and every zone, twice a year, has an opportunity to identify a home and a business in that zone that earns the beautification award. So I do have those two needs, if you would be so kind. When you go to our website and go to government and to boards, all of the boards, just as your board, is defined on what the expectations are for those participants. So if you would kindly help me find someone for those boards, I'd greatly appreciate it. I wanted to also just reiterate that at 4 p.m. tomorrow in room 149 downstairs, that conference room, is where the public budget meeting will take place, and immediately following will be the discussion in regards to a recreation board. Also in that same room on Thursday at 4 p.m. will be a discussion regarding Orange Avenue. This will be the second public presentation regarding Orange Avenue. So please come out, because that's going to affect a lot of us in increments, but we need you to come out for the concerns that you may have. That is Thursday at 4 p.m. in room 149B downstairs, the conference room. I wanted to tell you, you're talking about how much money do we have in Midtown. Well, you know that $1 million y'all kept asking, what happened to it? It was allocated to help in the event that we needed it for Orange Avenue. However, a lot of the bidding that has come in has not been as great as we had anticipated. Therefore, something that we have been requesting is going to be done. The paving of MLK from Orange Avenue to Shady Place is going to take place. Now, I've been told when I inquired about the infrastructure that there is no need for us to do anything with that. So I've asked for that in writing, because I thought it was just as old as Orange Avenue. But anywho, I'm told that utilities has gone out and that they have checked the piping and what have you. And so they're going to be paving that. And I'm told that's going to be done within the next 90 days. So you should get an announcement in regards to when to come to address that, because that affects a lot of us as well. That's one of those main Midtown thoroughfares. And we're on board, on target, of course, with the paving of Orange Avenue from Orange to ISB. That was always a part of the plan with the Orange Avenue development. So I wanted to share that as well. And then Reed helped me, because I'm still working on the comprehensive, the Midtown, the master plan. But would you share with us about the state approving the zoning and the land development and the comprehensive plan of the Midtown Board's plan?
Sure. Okay. The Midtown Comprehensive Plan is coming up on June 18th for the second reading, which means if we all agree, it will be sent to the state. It will be hopefully all finalized, and it's the signal to do the next thing, which is to address the rezoning, and we would immediately start the process for rezoning. This is the important part, because this is now the comp plan has got ahead of the rezoning. We can rezone everything that needs to be rezoned at one time and not do it in two steps. So that's going to make it much more efficient for us to go through that process. And then finally, before you can actually get that zoning step completed, you need to have the land development code and all those regulations that are going to describe to someone how that Midtown Master Plan is actually going to get implemented through the zoning, what those uses are, where the cars go, where are those neighborhood districts that we talked about. And that all has to be a part of this. So that part, when it gets wrapped up, we're now talking about getting reports back still this summer, so from Clarion, so that we can get that process completed. We all joke around the office that but we're serious about trying to get this done before Paul McKittrick leaves in the fall, so that's our internal target, and obviously we've wanted to get this done a lot sooner than this period of time, but we're just getting the comments from these organizations that have been reviewing some of the details, the engineering parts, the technical stuff. That is all now back in Clarion's hands, and they are working through it to get that final report back. It gets before the planning board. I just can't promise you exactly what date that is. I've just seen that date continue to get pushed back month by month. But I'm going to say right now, I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, I don't have anybody else here that would know about this, but towards the end of the summer and then through the process. So by the calendar year, end of the calendar year, I would hope we have something.
Okay.
That is done, complete, finished, including the rezoning.
And so would I. And in essence, in layman terms, what this means is any and everything cannot come into Midtown once this is completed. Any questions or comments for me? Yes, ma'am.
Nothing personal, but when you started talking about the repaving of Campbell, of
Yes,
Martin
I know the
Luther
street.
King,
Mm-hmm.
actually saw a water man out there putting the hose down into my water meter, and I asked him what, and he told me that they were paving Martin Luther King, and I told him I didn't believe it.
Did you say hallelujah?
No, I didn't believe him.
It's going to happen.
And I asked him in what year.
Mm-hmm.
And I rushed here. I was the first one here.
Amazingly.
First one here tonight because I wanted to hear it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
About to happen in Midtown and Zone 6 at large, and I'm glad you all are here to be a part of it because I can't do it by myself. We have to keep asking questions. You guys have got to go to meetings besides this one and know what's going on so that you can ask the questions that I'm also asking, because if we all ask, then something's got to be done. Mr. Miller, was your hand raised?
Yeah, I did.
That's that school teacher in me. Mr. Miller?
I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule to come and join us, even though we know Midtown is your baby. It's the you're the only person I've seen in authority that come to our meeting. So again, thank you very much.
I show up like every quarter, and when something good is happening, I really want to share those things with you to know that your work is not in vain, that great things are happening and you're a part of it. All righty? Thank you all again.
Thank you. At this time, are there any public comments? We thank you all for coming out to our meeting. That's all right. We're glad you're here anyway.
Where is the Balloon Road meeting going to be? It's supposed to be at 7 o'clock.
That's at Holly Hill, the city of Holly Hill.
That's Thursday meeting, is it?
All right. All right. At this time, we will begin our board comments. We'll begin with Apostle Barhu.
No comment, sir.
All right.
I'm just excited about the progress. I see movements in Midtown. And with the pavement that's coming up for Orange Avenue and now MLK, I think we're doing good.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ross?
None at this time.
All right. Mr. Miller?
Yes, I have a couple of comments. One of the comments I have is that I see that on the ballot in November going to be the marijuana ruling here in the state of Florida. I don't know what our commissioners are doing, but it seems like they should be proactive instead of reactive. I know that in our neighborhood, they normally throw things that they don't want, in our neighborhood. I'm just concerned where they plan on putting these dispensaries and whether or not there will be one in the Midtown Redevelopment District. So I like to send a message to the commissioners that they need to go to work and begin to be proactive instead of reactive, because we know it's going to pass. And I haven't heard anything from that commission of ours. But I know that our city manager been on vacation.
Well, at least now we'll get us some tax money. But Dr. James,
we want one in our neighborhood. I know that they normally want to take things and put it somewhere other than where we want one.
So in other words, you want one in our neighborhood that's legal.
Well, so many. No comment.
Dr. James.
I'm on television.
I didn't have a comment before, but now I have a comment. I do not want a dispensary in our neighborhood, okay? I'm just saying.
You one individual.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at June 10th and having fun, Juneteenth, whatever, and having fun. So I look forward to all of you being out there for the festival. I always have a good time. Thank you.
Ms. Ford.
Actually, I was not going to make a comment, but I am interested, and I'll be looking to see what furthers with the Leisure Services Board, because children are my passion, and that's what I do. And so we do have to think of things to focus on our youth and not wait to the last minute to be reactive. We need to have things planned ahead of time and ready to go when summer is out. And I'm just waiting for my day to be out.
Mr. Chairman.
No, Mr. Miller.
I just want to thank the
No,
board for
Mr. Miller.
But thank you.
All right. Ms. Hurd.
Thank you, Chairman. I have a few comments to make, and I'm not being timed at all. First of all, the Juneteenth is my passion also. And if you need a ticket, I think I have several tickets for sale. Let me know as soon as possible because first come, first serve. And we only have seating for, 350 people this year. So I thought I'll tell you that. Number two, I'm excited about Orange Avenue and MLK. It's improving, but I have something else to show you too. Now, if we're going to get new streets and all of these things, and as much as I did not say during the time of the code enforcement, all of you on TV too have seen signs stuck around. Now, don't tell me you haven't. Right down MLK, in the Derbyshire area, everywhere else. They're on telegram poles, the electric boxes, everything. Why are we continuing to let people come into our town and stick these things up? This one came from Midtown, and they have an address here. I have other suggestions that can be used, but these people are coming to town, destroying our city. Is this what we want? No. Therefore, do something about it. Police department, code enforcement, commissioners. Thank you. One other thing. Thank you. We have already said something about the budget, and that is very important, and hopefully I will be there. And that's it, Chairperson.
All right. And I do want to first say we do thank you, Mr. Miller, for wanting to thank everyone. But we're not going to go back in comments because the last time I did that, it was another 45 minutes before we got out. Now, one of the things I do want to say, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We have done a good job. I want us to go out and let people know that we are going to see paving on Martin Luther King from Orange Avenue on back to Shady Place, because we do have people who are asking about it, so let them know. I want to thank our commissioner for coming out and being supportive of this board. We as a board are doing some things that people don't even realize is getting done. But we have to continue to be proactive, invite people to the meeting, let them know what's going on. Now, the last thing I want to make mention of is something that we heard alluded to by the commissioner. Board members, we've got to start going to some of these other meetings. We have to. One of the reasons that I'm not at every city commission meeting is because the city commission meets on a day that is my late day at work, and hopefully that will be changing soon. But we need to be at these meetings because, yes, we do things here, but one thing is for sure, when people see us at other meetings, they'll know that we're serious about what we're doing. There'll also be more camaraderie, and people get to know you, which makes it a little bit easier to get some other things done. Thank every one of you all for coming out. We thank staff for all their hard work. You all do a wonderful job. Mr. Attorney, we didn't need you too much tonight, but we thank you for being here. And we ask now that everybody be ready next month. Weren't we all supposed to be coming with some priorities or something? Has anyone sent you any yet? Okay, please, y'all, send Mr. Bryant some priorities that we need to be looking at. And as of now, because I know Dr. Jameson is anxious to get to the game, the meeting is adjourned.
Let's get those seats moving.